Imagine you're at the bottom of Mount Everest and someone next to you stands there and just says, all right, then start climbing. That's exactly what it feels like when you set a financial goal too big. And it's easy to get this wrong because everywhere you look on the internet, there's someone your age that has a 6-figure savings account or a 7-figure net worth. So you feel behind and overwhelmed. And instead of just taking action, you do nothing at all. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the same 4-step process that I've used with dozens of people like you to break up their massive financial goals into steps so small that it feels almost impossible to fail. And maybe that seems like the opposite of what everyone else online is saying, but I know this works because it worked for me. I went from a negative 40-something thousand-dollar net worth to now a multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars net worth because of just thinking through all of my money goals through this framework. The first thing we have to know with our finances is what the hell is going on with them, and we have to just take a very small action to get started. For example, when I started my personal finance journey about 10 years ago, it all started because I had no idea how much money was even in my checking account. And that almost messed up the largest purchase of my life to that point, which was a new car. And I vowed to myself that I would never, ever do that again or have that feeling of just embarrassment ever again. So what I started to do was simply wake up and look at my bank balance every single morning. And this step feels way too small to matter. That's why most people miss it and most people don't end up doing stuff like this. And I'm calling this step the awareness stage. We don't need to climb Mount Everest just yet. We just need a very simple, small, actionable step that we can just see what's going on. But you'll find quickly that awareness only gets you so far, and you're gonna have to keep stacking these small little steps on top of them. Going back to my example of looking at the bank account, I ended up doing this for over 2 months, right? Which is pretty great. Kudos for me, thumbs up. I built up an easy habit that I was consistent with, but I wasn't really helping me move forward with my finances at all, which is why the second step of this is called the action stage. Now that I was slightly more aware of what was going on in my finances just by simply checking my bank account, I took the next logical step and was like, okay, well, is my bank account balance going up or down at the end of every month? Then it was like, okay, why did it go up and down? What are the expense categories that are swinging it in this direction? Or maybe higher income swinging it this direction, right? So you can see how these little small actionable steps start stacking on top of each other. And I just ran through that example really quickly, spitballing of all the things that I tried. But really that took me multiple months to kind of reiterate, right? Because you don't know if something's working a day into it. You have to really give it time to breathe and have like at least a month worth of data to see what's going on. So if we go to the drawing board here, you'll notice that what we're doing is we're just going from the smallest hills, right? Smallest to largest, and we're just building this up. What you'll notice is we haven't gone to Mount Everest yet. It's over here, it's in the distance. So every time we're gonna walk up here, we're gonna go back down, we're gonna go to the next one, walk back down, climb the next hill, right? And this keeps going. Like we didn't start with Mount Everest. We started with the local hill in our neighborhood. And this process is actually really helpful if we have a goal to work towards. Unfortunately, I didn't even have that myself when I started. I was just running from the embarrassment of having an accounting degree and not knowing how to manage my personal finances. But that was 10 years ago. And I'm so glad I started that habit when I did, because there is just so many different levels to this personal finance game. There's always an opportunity to learn something else and to grow and to improve and get to the next stage. And it is true about what people say about compounding. Most people think of it in terms of money, right? Having your money make its own money, which is of course great. But I found that these habits and skills are truly the foundation of my money's compounding growth. Yes, the money is important, but really it's the underlying belly of the beast, which is the foundation. But maybe you're sitting there and you're intimidated about the idea of having to do this or commit to something for the next 10 years. And certainly that's not a requirement, but at the very least, would you be excited if you were able to just keep momentum and confidence in your personal finances month over month, just thinking maybe the next 3, 6, 12 months? And that's where the next stage of this comes in, accountability. Once we figure out where we're at with our finances, once we've done some sort of small actions just to take us to the next step, we need to build a system, a reliable system that we can be able to repeat month after month after month after month. So when I say accountability, you could do it with yourself to keep yourself accountable, or with a significant other or a friend or a coworker, or you could join a personal finance community with hundreds of people on the same journey as you to become more confident with their money. If a community like that existed in the world, I don't know, the link would probably be down in the description of the video. But here's the thing that most people miss about accountability is it's easily the hardest step in this entire process. This is the unsexy work, the boring stuff that it's just really hard to stay with. And that's why most people fall off after they're doing this. For me, I would much rather have someone be able to stick with this thing, this system that they've built for a longer period, but maybe having less to show for it month over month over month than going on these short sprints, these 1, 2, 3 month little sprints where they make this massive adjustment in their personal finances. They have all this extra money that they find every single month to apply towards financial goals. But they burn out of that because it's not sustainable, and then they go back to the life that they were living, and it's this constant like seesaw battle. It's what I call it. So I'd much rather have someone find, let's say, $500 a month going through their system to apply to money goals, and do that for the next 5 years. That sounds amazing, right? Instead of someone finding $1,000 a month for the next 6 months, but then going back to their normal where they found $0 a month, and then they keep going back and forth, and it's just this atrocious seesaw battle. Which brings me to the fourth step in this process, and in order to do that, I have to go back to the drawing board. The person that I just finished drawing here is you. Now, I'm not sure what I did here. Do they have 2 sets of arms? I don't know, whatever, right? But you're in the penthouse suite of a building, right? It's super sexy. You've got this awesome balcony. Look at this. Look how safe it looks here. You're definitely not going to fall off. And maybe you have, I don't know, maybe you have a distant view of the Mount Everest in the background, right? Are there penthouse suites near Mount Everest? Anyway, this is you. And this is the mistake that a lot of people make. So I'm not saying you're making this mistake, but I just wanted to, get your attention a little bit. The people that I speak with on a regular basis about their personal finances, the thing that they jump to first out of all 4 of these steps, and I'm going to reveal this one in a second, is this one. They go from the floor to just wanting to do this immediately. And this is the fun, sexy stuff. This is the balcony view. This is the thing where, there's other people down here that are like, hey, how'd they get up on this penthouse suite? Like, what the hell's going on? What do they do? Do they sell drugs? How do they get up there? And this sexy thing is really growing your money. And it's really like it's investing, right? It's the having your money, make your own money thing. It's super great. Totally awesome. Love it for you. But the last I checked up here, if none of these building, structures existed, we can't have a floating building yet. I mean, maybe at some point someone's working on something where we'll be able to live like the Jetsons. And if you get that reference, then maybe I'm getting too old. But the thing here is acceleration. And everyone wants this with their money. The problem is, you can't accelerate something if you don't have any tires, if you don't have an engine, if you don't have all this stuff. You can't accelerate something that can't go, right? So that's why I rank these in order of kind of how I prefer people to think about their finances. Now, if this doesn't work for you and you jump to the acceleration step and you were able to just crush it immediately, that's amazing. But what I've found is people jump to this acceleration step. They put money towards a financial goal. They put it towards investing or their Roth IRA or Bitcoin, right? And then at the end of the month, they're like, holy crap, I actually need that money to pay this bill, or this emergency fund thing came up and I don't have the money for it. And they pull this money back out, which is really bad. It's just really inefficient for the fees and the taxes that are implied with that, right? But I'm not going to get into that point here. The purpose of this is, 1, we have to stop caring about what these people think. Nobody cares. And 2, all buildings start with a foundation. So we have to think the same way with our personal finances. And I wish I knew this way, way sooner. If you guys are still watching this and you wanted to kind of hear me talk through how I built the multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars of net worth through, retirement funds, investing funds, all this other stuff, let me know down in the comments if that would be interesting to you. I can make that for you guys. These 4 steps barely scratch the surface of building your own money system. I've got a 90-minute training inside of my free community, Dollar Discipline University. So if you're interested in that, check it out below, or I've just put it up on YouTube for free for everyone to access, and you can find that right here.